Let's bring in former Florida Attorney General, current GOP Florida Senator Ashley Moody. Senator, it's great to see you. Which way do you think the court will rule? Because the Washington Post says, quote, science and the American public is not on the side of the far left. 7 out of 10 don't like this.
Yeah, and I've noted in your introduction that you had two men that are with the Democratic Party talking about, like, this is crazy. There's clear physiological differences in men and women. And I just keep asking, as a woman here, I'm proud of my party, the Republican Party, standing up for women, the opportunities that they have in sports and athletics. But where are the Democrat women? Until this party was radicalized and mutated into what it is today, it was women that were fighting for true opportunities in education, and that included sports. That is why so many women have been given that opportunity in college athletics. So, I think the time is ripe. It needs to happen. The Supreme Court has to rule and recognize what the Democrats want everyone to ignore. Don't believe your eyes. There's no differences. Men should be able to compete in sports. But that, we all know that can risk injury to biological females, that it does away with opportunities in many instances. They have to watch as males
loss of
win.
loss of scholarships, loss of future ad dollars and professional sports positions.
And the hearing tomorrow may have broader implications. Look, you have almost 30 states who have enacted laws to protect women's sports. And so this hearing tomorrow, dealing with Idaho and West Virginia, their laws, it could have broader implications. If they stay specific to sports, we might see one thing, but the ruling might apply to a myriad of things within the realm of education. And so I, for one, who as Attorney General in Florida, fought very hard, corralled and fought against Biden when they tried to change the rules of Title IX regarding women and educational and sports opportunities. We won that.
Yeah, you won
this
that.
is just another day.
Here's the thing. The Washington Post reports a big scientific finding from a study that even after men transition to try to become women, males' testosterone is still in their body. They still have those advantages of that strength. It still persists. The Post slammed far-left activist groups for ignoring the mainstream America, the far-left bullying, harassing, and attacking those who disagreed with them, to shut them down. So it feels like we went through this bizarre far-left cultural, the Washington Post is talking about it like a sickness, that America endured that for the last 4 years before Trump took office.
Yeah, and I'm glad you're bringing this up. It is okay to talk about the physical differences between men and women. It is a reality. It is why all of this evolved, to make sure that women could compete and have these experiences in college the same as their male counterparts. And so it's okay to talk about it. I'm proud of the fact that many people are standing up and saying what we all know to be true. It's not right to make women compete against men. And I expect that the Supreme Court is going to be very focused on this. This is one of the biggest issues of our time
we'll be
in
watching
terms of women's opportunities.
Thank you so much, Senator Ashley Moody, on the Supreme Court taking up that case, men and women's sports tomorrow.